Hello everyone and welcome back. So I wanted to start this video off by apologizing for a little bit of misinformation that I had in my previous video. I misremembered a few details about the box of gloom and I misremembered about one polish. 3 out of the 5 plates are actually available, 2 of which in there was exclusive. In fact, I linked the bundle that had all 3 polishes and all 3 plates from the box of gloom that is available. So the box of gloom plate I'm going to use today is one of the ones that is available and is not exclusive. Now the previous video, the one that I used, was exclusive, and if you wanted to get that one and you did not get the box of gloom, you were going to have to find it at a second-hand place such as eBay or a nail buy, sell, and trade group. So thank you for those who corrected me in the comments below on the previous video. So, as I stated in one of the comments, I was a bit rattled before I started the video and had misremembered a few details. I had an elderly man attack me for really no reason at all a few hours before I had shot the video, so I was a bit rattled. And I'm okay, but I was a bit rattled. So, I did have a little bit of misremembering on stuff. So I will go ahead and get into the details of this mani. So in this mani, we have this lovely witchy and spooky rodents. We have 3 mice and 2 rats in this from the box of gloom plate that I am using today, which is M617, which is this cute little critter plate that has them dressed up in different Halloween costumes. So I love this plate so much. It's so gosh dang adorable. And as a rat owner myself, I have 6 pet rats. It kind of got out of hand in less than a year. We originally were just going to have 4, but unfortunately that wasn't in the cards for us. We have a close friend who needed help. She had to downsize the pets that she had because she couldn't take care of all of them anymore. So we took in her 3 rats, one of which was very elderly and passed the next week. She knew that he was getting down to the end of his life, but she wasn't sure how long he still had. So we essentially played hospice for him for that final week of his life. And he was very happy and he was very content for that entire time, thankfully. And he passed away in my husband's arms exactly a week after we had received him. So, you know, we have 6. We didn't intend to have so many, but we do have 6, and we also have 2 gerbils, and which the gerbils are our children's. Both of our children got to pick out a gerbil of their own, and they are theirs. So yeah, we have lots of rodents. We like all sorts of animals in this household. We have lots of bird feeders outside for the wildlife, and we are very much so about just enjoying nature and wildlife. And we have toads that come up on our back patio and we just get excited to see them and stuff like that. So you know, we love nature in this household. So seeing adorable little creatures in costumes like this is just so cute to us. Okay, so another plate that I used M516 for this imagery right here. And I also used M319 for the gradient. So the base color is white. And I used Sinful Matte's White Lies from Sinful Colors for the base color. And I used Ruby Ruby by Sinful Colors. I used Icy Monstar from Sinful Colors. Silver Elements from Sally Hansen. It is a magnetic, so you can try to fool with the magnetic part of this with the reverse stamping. I used Glitter Storm Top Coat I used Maniology's Icy Waters, Essie's The Snuggle Is Real, Essie's The Bestest, Essie's Off the Grid, and Essie's Sand Topaz. Now the stamping polishes that I used for this, one I'm not sure if I'm going to pronounce right, so I'm sorry. I used Born Pretty's Black, but any black stamping polish will do. But I used Dusk B300 from Maniology. And this is one I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to say right. It's Midnight Maya, I want to say. It seems like it's kind of a Spanish name, but Maija B542. And Indicon from Maniology B200. So these are the colors I used to make the gradient of the base. Where is, there it is. There's a plate I just had. Okay, so I used Maniology's Smudge Free Top Coat, Maniology's Sticky Base Coat, and OPI's Matte Top Coat. So let's go ahead and get into the design. Okay, so I'm going to start with Dusk. Grab my stamper. Put at the bottom. This is a very open image, so you're going to want a decent amount. And the Midnight in the middle, and the Indicon at the top. Now you're going to want to swipe gently and as flush with the plate as possible to blend the colors and not scrape it out of the well like I just did, because I did not go gently enough. Pick up, lay down. So in this particular instance, we are going to be doing this twice, so if you don't get it all in the first swipe, it's okay. You can even go as far as to do it 3 times over. I'm going to do that again. We have Dusk, Midnight, Indicon. Okay, that picked up better that time. Go across. The top. There we go. We have that nice gradient to work with. And we're going to do this to all the nails. Gently swipe as flush as you can to the plate so it does not scrape out. Alternatively, if you don't think that you can handle doing the stamping version of doing this gradient, you can sponge gradient if that's easier or more preferred method. For the sake of saving time, I did not sponge gradient. There's already going to be a bunch of reverse stamping, and that is going to take a while, and we have to wait on certain things to dry while we're doing it. So it's so much easier to save the time and just do the gradient stamp. Instead. Well, haha, it did work out. I wasn't sure if I was going to. Didn't know if I needed a third time, but that worked out. That one was kind of iffy. Come on, sticky paper, take the polish off my finger. Okay. As you can see, we got a nice, lovely gradient. Go ahead, we're going to do this again with dusk, midnight, then Indicon. Gently swipe to blend, keeping the scraper angled as flush as possible. And you want to be as light as you can with that touch, guys, or you will dig the polish out. Nice. So once you have the coverage that you want, move on to the next one. Dusk, midnight, Indicon. My sticky stamping station will need to be redone here in a moment. I'm going to pull and tear a new sheet. And one more. Dusk, midnight, indigo. If you're wondering why I keep mentioning them, it's because I'm reminding myself just as much as I'm reminding you guys. I have a hard time remembering the order of the gradient sometimes. So if I remind myself of every time I do it, it makes it easier to remember. I do so verbally out loud. Okay. There, I like that blend better. Bingo. There we go. Set that off to the side for a moment. Close the caps. Set these off to the side. Okay, so now for the sake of not smudging this gradient, I'm going to put a smudge-free top coat on before I go in with my glitter topper. So we're going to do a layer, smudge free, because this is a stamping polish and it will smudge with a regular topper without a smudge free underneath. The topper in between. We're going to make a gradient topper sandwich. Okay. Now that we have done that, we need to let this dry before we can add our topper. But we are going to put Glitter Storm Top Coat from Sally Hansen Miracle Gel line on top of this after this is dried. So this beautiful thing right here. And while that is drying, we're going to take a momentary second to put this away so I have more space. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and grab our rodent plate from the box of Gloom M617, and we are going to start collecting all of the images for reverse stamping. And I have my stampers ready to go and on hand. Caps off. Obviously, I don't expect everyone here to have a multitude of stampers. So if you do not, you may do it one image at a time, or however many stampers you have, whatever's comfortable for you. You do not have to use the same method I am currently doing by grabbing every last one at once. That's not necessary. It just speeds the process up, makes it easier. If you have less stampers, that's okay. It just slows it down a little. That's all you have to worry about, is having at least a singular stamper in order to pick up the images in the first place. Okay, so I'm going to start by grabbing this cute little mouse in a ghostly costume with my black from Born Pretty. And then I'm going to clean up the images around it that we do not want. And that is a mouse. And the biggest way to tell the difference between the mouse and a rat is the shape of their head and the shape of their ears are different. Mice have much rounder ears and much smaller, rounder faces, and this tail is entirely too skinny. So this is a mouse. So the next image we're going to grab is actually a rat, and it's this cute little reaper. And you can tell by the ears. See how the ears are more pointed and less round? And see how the snout is more elongated and less rounded of a face? That is a rat. And you can see a little bit of the tail. It's thicker right there. Okay? It's not so skinny. So once again, also using the black, we are going to pick up this little reaper rat. All right, clean up any excess imagery we do not want. In this case, it's that lovely little line there. Set that off to the side. So the next image that we want is this adorable little mouse dressed like a witch. Clean up excess imagery. Good. Okay. And the next image we are going to grab is this cute little witch rat up at the top. Clean up the excess imagery. And last but not least, we have our cute little ghosty type mouse that has a hood. And a mushroom in its hand. Okay. that is all we will need from this plate. Set that aside. Okay, so this should be dry enough for us to add our topper. So we're going to go in, and we're going to add 1 coat of Glitter Storm topper. And then we're going to let that dry. While we're letting that dry, we're going to go ahead and start filling in our images. So this is where a lot of different colors are going to start coming into play. That's why this list is so long. We have 4 SE polishes, 3 Sinful colors, a Maniology. And if you count the topper, 2 Sally Hansen. However, we only use the topper for, well, topper. But that, I have 1 Sally Hansen, 1 Maniology, 3 Sinful colors, and 4 SE for filling in images, which is a lot. Okay, so let's go ahead and start zooming in on these images. So you can see better while we are doing this. Okay. There we go. So I'm going to start with the Snuggle is Real from Essie. I'm going to be filling in things like ears, nose, tails, on the rats, like hands and feet, things like that. So the inside of the mouse's ears. And its nose. Move on to the next one. You're going to fill in its tail and its ears. Moving into the next one. Fill in the ears. Oops, I missed the nose on the other one. And its nose. So we're going to backpedal for just a second. That was a little more than I intended. Let's see if we can fix this. It's probably as good as it's going to get. Should be okay. I'm going to need to repick that image up. Let's try it again. This is why I left my plate out. Where the heck is this image on this plate? I forgot. There it is. All right, guys. That's the wrong one. It's the Reaper one I needed. Dang it. That's what I get. There we go. I have the appropriate one again. Sorry, guys. I may not be flustered or anything like that today, but I am very tired. I did not sleep well last night. I have been battling with poison ivy from the last time I dealt with the lawn over a month ago, and I'm rather allergic to it, so it's an uphill battle, and I thought I could do it without having to go get a steroid shot and all of that, because I had leftover steroid cream from the previous time that was still good. And due to the chaos in my household, I had forgotten to, every time it started getting better, I had forgotten to actually use it. And it kind of got really, really bad. And yeah, it's kind of hard to sleep on that with all that. So, all right, let's try this again. I'm going to fill in the ears, dab the nose, tail. Okay, moving on. Get nose, the ears, tail, a little on the feet here, and our final mouse, the ears. Oops, I wasn't supposed to do that. Haha, I win. That will not be noticeable. Okay. So while we're on this one, there are two colors that are specific to this image, and that is the only thing I use them for. And that is Ruby Ruby from Sinful Colors and Sand Topaz by Essie. So I'm going to start with Ruby Ruby, so we can get this out of the way. And then we are already on this image. I'm going to fill in this mushroom top. And then I'm going to grab Sand Topaz. And fill in the stem of the mushroom. All right, so this next step, I'm going to grab, oops, sorry guys, the Bestest by Essie. And this is the gray that we're going to use for the color of the rats and the mice. Almost said rice. Oh boy. All right, so let's fill in the little hands. This cute little face. Okay, so we're going to move over. I'm going to grab this rat right here. Fill in its fur. its face. Okay. Move that one on. Next, so we're going to take this lovely, cute little witchy mouse, fill in its face, tip of the ear, stomach, feet, hands. Move it on. I'm going to fill in this lovely little Reaper rat's face. Hands. Feet. Move it along. Onto the mouse. Face. Tips of the ears. Hand, feet, tail. Okay, so now while we're on this image, this is where we use our Maniology's Icy Waters. Oh, I missed a hand. So now I'm going to go in with Icy Waters. And we're going to fill in the ghostly cloak. And then we're going to do that with the other mouse as well. The one holding the mushroom. Okay. And that is all we use Icy Waters for. All right, on to the Reaper Rat. You're going to grab the magnetic from Sally Hansen that is known as Silver Elements. And we are going to fill in the Reaper's Scythe. And that is all we use that for. Okay. So now I'm going to grab Off the Grid by Essie. Oh, I just remembered another one I used that magnetic on. Grab that in just a second. Because it's the same one. It also needs Off the Grid. So I'm going to take Off the Grid. Fill in the broomstick. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab that magnetic again. Silver Elements. On the buckle of the hat is where I'm going to use that. Just right there. I completely forgot about that, guys. I'm very sorry about that. Alright, what's next? We have Icy Monstar. And I'm going to backpedal just a smidge here. And start there because that's where this is going to need to start. And we are going to fill in the cloak. Moving on to the next, I'll be filling in the cloak and the hat. And then the final one is just a hat. Okay, so back to this little guy. And now we're going to use the white from Simple Colors. That is also the base coat to the whole mani. And that was 2 coats, in case I forgot to mention that. It was 2 coats on the nail tips before starting. Scooch it over. And we're just going to go over all the spots that we used Icy Waters in. Okay, so we've got all our images filled in. I'm going to set them off to the side. We're going to back this up. And now we are going to start stamping our background. So this is where we're going to take M516 from Maniology. And black stamping polish. My next stamper. And we're going to grab this area right here. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was trying to get in that last little bit of the tree, but I knew better. My brain's just ceasing to work today. So fine, I'll do it this way. There we go. So, line it up at the bottom, like so. So there's the first one. I was afraid of. Let's see if I can pull that out of there. Oh, it's going to hurt the tree, like I thought. There, that fixes that. We're going to center this like so. I'm going to take the image off to the left. Take it off to left. Do not worry, I will fix the tree itself. What I'm going to do, pick up just the trunk of the tree. I'm going to line it up with the rest of the tree, like so. Problem solved. Oops, I'm dropping things. So this is what it looks like so far. We need this image again. Like so. And then the last, this right here. Like so. Okay. So we're officially done with that step. So this is where we're going to need our sticky base, because we're going to now transfer our images to our background. And they're going to be too dry to transfer otherwise. So we will need to have sticky base to transfer. I really am having a tough time today, apparently. So I'm just dropping my cotton grabber. Just dropping everything. It's not my day. Apparently Monday wasn't either. Okay. Every little thing will be alright. Okay, so now I'm going to go in and I'm going to carefully apply my sticky base so I do not smudge. Yay, more scammers calling. Well, they can just enjoy my voicemail box. Okay, so we're going to let that sit for a moment until it gets to the tacky stage. Grab all of our stamps. So this is what they look like. Okay. So, I think this is ready. We're going to go ahead and place our cute little ghosty mouse right here. Beautimous. Now we're going to get our Reaper. Place it right here. And get our cute little witch mouse. Place right there. Now our cute little witch rat right here. And last but not least, our last little ghosty mouse with the mushroom right there. Sorry guys. Did not mean to do that. Okay, cap these off and set it off to the side. Ooh, that was unpleasant to the ears. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. I guess my hair is trying to get painted too. So now we're going to go in with our smudge-free top coat. Alright, now that we have our smudge-free top coat in place, we can go ahead and let that dry for a moment, so that way it does not interfere with the matte top coat. I'm going to go ahead and clean up a little bit while we are waiting. Okay. So I will probably be using this plate again for another mani because there's so many adorable images on this. I will probably do one more inspo mani with this plate alone, and then I will move on to some of the other box of gloom plates to showcase them, because I feel like this particular box, all of the plates in it, really could use some love and showcasing. I might just exclude the other exclusive one unless you guys want to see that, because I try not to use plates that are not readily available for my viewers, and are not difficult to get unless requested otherwise. So if you guys want to see the other box of gloom plate showcased for an inspo mani that is not part of the ones that are available anymore, then I can go ahead and do that. However, much like my pet cemetery plates, I try not to use them for my videos because they are not easy to get your hands on, and they are expensive now. And getting them secondhand, you can pay in the upwards of $300 for just 2 plates. So I try not to use the ones that are not readily available due to that reason. So if you guys want to see that one being showcased, please let me know in the comments below and I will do so. Otherwise, I will exclude that one from the list of videos that I will be using it, be making. So with that being said, that is up to you guys. I am also going to notate that due to unforeseen circumstances, I may not be taking a week off with pre-recorded videos and having the same nails and then doing a video on how how I come up with my designs. I may still do that video, how I come up with the designs. I'm undecided. Just the whole purpose of that was because of the fact that the whole event would possibly fall through, and the person that this event was going to be with and traveling to come here had a massive accident with his hand. So he had to have surgery and all of that just a couple weeks ago, and making that kind of drive might not be possible until this coming spring. So that that might not happen at the time that we had originally had planned, that all of us had set up. So, well, you know, things happen. It's okay. We will see. That statement still stands of, if you do see it all seeming like they were recorded pretty much all at once, that's because they were in preparation for that. If it does happen, you will know, because that's what you'll see. But currently I don't know what's going to happen, because everything's still kind of in the air. Hopefully this will still happen, but I don't know. None of us knows right now, so we'll see. Okay, this should be just about dry enough now, and I've got just about everything cleaned up, to add our matte top coat from OPI. So depending on the level of matteness you want on the nail would determine what type of matte top coat you want. Every brand is different on how much matte it provides. OPI is my favorite if I want it to be really matte, and generally if I want matte, that's the case. However, there are times where I want it to be more subtle, and I will choose something like Sally Hansen or oh, fudge, I can't think of the name. My brain's farting on this one. I don't think I have a bottle on hand. I have two different ones from Sally Hansen. I have one that's called Big Matte, and it's not in the Miracle Gel line, and then I have the Miracle Gel line. And both have a different matte effect as well. So even with the same brand, you can sometimes end up with ones that are different in effect. So that is something to be aware of. I need to do another coat because this did not fill in all the spots. You may have to do more than one coat. And something you can also do to prevent having to use multiple coats of matte top coat is you can use a quick dry top coat first to help smooth out the surface. I like doing multiple coats of the matte though, because it gives it a nice super matte effect. That's what I thought, that globbed. Pull that off the brush. There. There we go. Okay. I think that's all of them. I don't think any of the others got any weird, nope, no weird spots. Okay. Alright guys, so that is how I created this cute rodent spooky Manny for Halloween with the Box of Gloom plate M617. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will reiterate once again, I am sorry about the misinformation. That was an accident. That was not intentional, guys. You know, that was my anxiety at a very, very high level and making it so my brain could not remember details the way it typically would. In fact, the night before, when I had everything prepped, I remembered everything perfectly. Yeah, no, that older guy definitely had me completely messed up in the head for a whole day, for sure, and part of the next day. So yesterday I was still struggling to deal with the fact that somebody felt the need to attack me for virtually no reason at all. I was obeying all laws and all of that. I wasn't doing anything wrong. And he got mad at me even though I wasn't doing anything wrong. And I did absolutely nothing to him. And he got hostile with me and started verbally attacking me. And I had to defend myself, and it had been a long time since I'd had an incident like that, and it was pretty upsetting. I'm not one to generally go out in public unless I have to, and unfortunately these days with 2 special needs kids, I'm out in the public way more than I want to be. So things like that, you know, really rattle me, and I have extremely bad anxiety, so I don't like going into public because of the fact that I have such bad anxiety. And this guy was definitely had me rearing up to a point to where I was taking my medication often over the last couple of days because it was just too much. And so I am sorry about the misinformation. It was not intentional. And like I said, I did put in the description below the correction about what was no longer available and what was, and put the link in for Maniology's bundle and all of that. So I am very sorry, guys. And I don't have any other announcements at this current time. Excuse me. So I am still currently working on planning various Halloween manis. I'm not so sure what all things I'm going to showcase this year. I might do some encapsulation type manis with things like acrylic, polygel, and stuff like that, and not just the stamping type arts. I haven't decided yet on what all I want to do this particular year. I will say that we are still planning on adding my husband in on the channel here probably sometime around this spring. When we decide to start doing lives, we haven't had a definite date in mind yet. We still have to figure out whether or not we want to try to do it with one of our phones, or if we need to get a specific camera, because this one does not have the ability to stream. This was like a $200 camera at Best Buy. It was not something that I was, can use for streaming. I have to pre-record and I can't stream. So we're still trying to work out all the kinks involved with it, and currently we have not. So if you guys are interested in the lives and watching him learn how to do nails, because he is wanting to learn how to do that, and if you guys are still interested in that, that's something else that I would also like to know in the comments below. And I hope you all are having a good morning, afternoon, evening, night, whatever it may be, wherever you're at while you're watching this video. And as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.